Everyone, greetings everyone. My name is Assemblywoman Mikal Salaj. I represent the 22nd Assembly District, which encompasses Elmont, Valley Stream, Franklin Square, and Floor Park, and other small areas. It's a pleasure to be joined here by many different advocates for the ratepayer. So they'll have a moment to speak, but I definitely want to thank the PULP, which is the Public Utility Law Project of New York, Long Island Progressive Coalition, AARP, and the Nassau County Working Families Party. Today we are united in calling for protections for the ratepayer. We have an affordability crisis where the average man and woman, the average individual in New York is suffering. They are choosing between prescription drugs, groceries, paying rent, and other amenities. And we have to stand against, these big utilities raising rates. And so, as your representative, I'm really concerned about the issue of skyrocketing utility prices for residents on Long Island. And it's critical that we take much needed action to bring relief to homeowners struggling with energy bills. In this legislative session, I was proud to sponsor several pieces of legislation that was overwhelmingly supported by my colleagues, which included streamlining the assistance process when it comes to the Home Energy Assistance Program. We also championed a bill to create and codify HEAP, which is a Home Energy Assistance Program. And then lastly, we wanted to give the ratepayers a seat at the table when it comes to these rate raises. So we passed legislation that would give residential and small businesses, utility customers, access to financial resources so that they can become active in the regulatory process. These were all bills that passed both the Senate and the Assembly, and we are calling on the governor to sign it. And so we stand here in solidarity with homeowners and calling for relief. And I firmly believe that we need a voice in shaping utility rates and policy. And so I'm dedicated to continuing this fight for ratepayers. And I will ensure with my colleagues here that Long Islanders have a voice in this process. So with that, I am going to give the mic to Lori Wheelock from PULP, who is going to talk more about what we're doing on a statewide level. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assemblywoman, and thank you to your amazing staff. The Public Utility Law Project is proud to be here today. Our organization is a 40-year-old nonprofit that specifically advocates, educates, and litigates on behalf of low-income utility customers. And so we are parties to both the National Grid gas rate case as well as the Liberty Water rate case. And I wanted to start by just sharing some figures because Long Islanders are already struggling to pay their current utility bills, but now they're facing rate hikes in both the gas and the water realm. So for PSEG Long Island electric customers, there are 116,000 households behind on their bills by 60 days or more, for a total of $86 million in utility debt that they're already struggling to pay. For National Grid Long Island customers, there's over 57,000 households with a total of $55 million that they're struggling to pay. And you know what? The hot summer weather is here. And with wildfire smoke and concerns about air quality, we are hearing from Long Islanders who are now worried that they're going to be spending a lot of their summer inside trying to stay cool, but knowing that their electric bills will increase. Now, again, both Liberty Water and National Grid are actively seeking to increase rates right now. Both utilities have rate cases before the state. Liberty Water is looking to increase monthly bills by $7 to $18 a month, depending where you live in their service territory. For National Grid customers, they're looking to increase their rates by $27 a month if you heat with their gas. If you just cook with their gas, they're looking to increase your rates by at least $6. So PULP is here to say no more. Long Islanders are already being asked to do more with less. The utilities should do the same. But unfortunately, we can't just be here to say no. We have to push for active reform of the system. And that's why we are so grateful to the Assemblywoman. Assemblywoman Salaj has sponsored 3 pieces of legislation that made it through 2 houses. They are sitting now and waiting for the governor to call on those bills. And we are actively calling on the governor to sign them into law. They are common sense measures that will make it easier for people to get access to the financial assistance they need. They also give groups like Pulp a seat at the table that makes it equitable so that we can fight on behalf of the public's interest and their rights. And so we thank the Assemblywoman for being a champion for utility customers, and we thank her for allowing us to be here today. Thank you for having Pulp.
And these are not anecdotal stories. We have a current resident, Tony Seta, who is experiencing a fight with the utility. And so I'm going to give him an opportunity to explain his story and tell us what we need to do in New York, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're here because this utility is trying to impose a 35% rate hike. Right now, their fees, their charges are 1,300% more than the town of Hempstead Water currently charges. So they're starting at a high point and they're looking to increase the fees dramatically. When they took over from American Water, they made a promise, and this is a press release. Liberty said in a statement they want to, quote, bring the customer service function back to Long Island. I'm here today to tell you about the customer service function they currently provide. In October of 2021, I received a bill. The bill said there was 19,600 gallons of water. That's 11,000 more than the previous month. Subsequent bills are dramatically lower. When I spoke to them, they told me there must be a leak. 11,000 gallon leak in the house. There was no leak. There are no leaks. There were no leaks. I asked them to change the meter. And lo and behold, when the meter was changed, the water usage dropped back to normal levels. A year later, the usage was 4,800 gallons. Same month. From 19.6 to 4,800. The difference, the meter. Numerous phone calls to them, to their office staff, has basically produced nothing, except what I received this month, a turn-off notice. If I don't pay those back charges that were caused by an erroneous meter, they're gonna cut off the water. They sent me another letter, which I received on the 28th, that set up a payment plan, and the first payment on that plan was due on the 26th. Got the letter on the 28th, they demanded payment 2 days before. That's the state of customer service provided by Liberty Water. It's a dispute that's gone on. It started with American Water. It's continued with these people. They have the same people in customer service that were employed by American. Nothing changed. Their attitude is, it's your fault, not ours. You pay, or we're gonna cut you off. And I think it's a disgrace that they're now actually trying to seek a 35% increase despite their abhorrent customer service. That's pretty much all I have to say. I have all the documents to support what I'm saying too, because they send me a bill every month, and that bill has a 2-year water usage history. And the dramatic increase in the month in question is printed literally every month by them and sent to me. I have all those bills with me. I'm going to turn it over to the next speaker. I think I made my point about the customer service, or lack of same, at Liberty Water.
Can I see
Thank
that,
you.
that bill again? Have you raised that bill? That turn-off note? Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bernard Macias. I'm the Associate State Director for AARP right here on Long Island. We have 2.5 million members in New York State, and 500,000 of that is living and working right here on Long Island. That's about 250, even 250,000 even split between Nassau and Suffolk. And we have the highest concentration of suburban membership anywhere nationwide. So AARP Long Island is a big focus. What we do and how we do it is a big focus for our national office. I want to thank Assemblymember Szilagyi for her leadership in advancing this important package of common sense bills that's really going to help overburdened utility consumers on Long Island and across New York State. I also want to thank Ron Roel, who's an ARP Long Island volunteer who's with me today. He's also part of our statewide executive council who provides leadership and guidance to a lot of the work that we do here for ARP in New York State, but right here on Long Island as well. Here on Long Island, we pay some of the highest utility rates in the nation, and we need relief. So, thank you again, Assemblymember Szilagyi, for your bills that are really going to provide the following relief. You spoke a little bit about this already. The increase of residential ratepayers' voice at the table. We need that. We want to make sure that in Albany, where those rate increases are happening, are decided by creating an intervenor funding program. Also, establishing that data benefit matching program to ensure that low to moderate income energy consumers are receiving utility bill paying assistance that they're eligible for. And then providing the emergency assistance to consumers facing those power shutoffs with enough time to make a difference. Each of these bills is a common sense way to help struggling utility consumers on Long Island and across New York State. You mentioned this, people are making hard choices right now. If you have a bill that you have to pay, you now have to make a decision. Do I have enough money to pay for groceries? Do I have enough money to pay for medication? We know that older adults are making a hard choice when it comes to paying for medication. They're actually taking their medication and splitting it into half, which means that they're not getting, they're at risk. Their health is at risk because they're doing that. And then, of course, paying for energy bills. You need to pay for water. You need to pay for those utilities in order for you to stay in your home. So thank you again, Assemblywoman Szilagyi, for your dedication, for your work here in getting these bills passed. ARP New York, ARP Long Island, our volunteers are happy to help and for you to get this done. And now we call on Governor Kathy Hochul to sign these bills into law. So thank you.
Thank you. We always like to hear from AARP.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Assemblyman. My name is Ron Roel. As Bernard mentioned, I'm an advocacy volunteer for ARP on Long Island and a member of the State Executive Council. But I'm also here today as a Long Islander. I've lived here most of my life since 1953. And there are many seniors who decide when they retire to leave for lower cost areas. But there are many of us who love Long Island, who want to stay Long Island. Our family is here, and we continue to contribute to Long Island. But in order to do that, we need to have more sensible cost of living. And that's where these bills are important. They should be passed because, as Bernard mentioned, we shouldn't be having to make these choices between medications and paying utility bills. There are ways we can deal with this. We can't control the price of eggs, but we can control, help, assume an affordable utility rate for both water and electricity. So we commend the Assemblywoman for doing this. We ask others to join in and support her, and ARP will be at her side as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next, we're going to have Lisa Tyson say a couple of words from Long Island Progressive Coalition, and then Nia from Working Families Party as well.
Good afternoon. I want to first of all thank the Assemblywoman for her strong leadership on these issues. Enough is enough. I mean, people are struggling right now. We have really bad corporations running our public services, our critical services that we need the most. Water, electricity, gas. They continue to have private, to continue to raise the rates while the people who work there make so much money, like more and more money every single year in bonuses. They also lie to us, PSE&G, National Grid, proven lies. Liberty, you cannot raise rates now. People are suffering. And so we're gonna stop this rate hike and the future ones, and make sure that we take these horrible corporations off of our public utilities, because they're shutting off people right now from these notices. Can you imagine your water shut off? Your electricity shut off? Your family cannot live in your house without these things. These are critical services. And it should be illegal to shut anyone off. And we're gonna fight until that happens. Thank you. Hello, my name is Nia Adams, and I'm with the Working Families Party of Nassau County. It is our honor to join the Assembly member today, as well as aligned organizations and, most importantly, community members. New Yorkers across the state are feeling the continued and devastating impacts of austerity and the ever-rising cost of living, which is pushing out working-class people, including right here in Long Island. These are our neighbors, our friends, our families, and it is really due to corporate greed and interest, and is why we're being alienated. Water is essential for public health and well-being, and it should be made accessible to all. We denounce the increases made by Liberty and any other corporation or entity seeking to extract, deplete, or exploit the people of Long Island. Ultimately, we, the people, should have control over utilities that are critical for our survival, like water. When people's survival is on the line, we need to eliminate corporate profits from the picture. Why should Long Islanders feel the squeeze so executives from Liberty Utilities New York, whose mailing address is actually a P.O. box in Chicago, Illinois? Most of us aren't relaxing on yachts, and those of us lucky enough to have jobs are working longer hours just to afford our rent and mortgage. As just aforementioned, people are choosing whether they need to pay for their medications or for their utilities. I speak from someone who lived in a household with a chronically ill parent, in a household where I would come home from school and our water was shut off, and it is a crisis. The Working Families Party is committed to building power in our communities to ensure that our voices are heard. Thank you.
And so you heard directly from, organizations, residents, we are denouncing any sort of rate increase, and if people want to, they could submit public comment. Go to the Public Service Commission website. You could type in Liberty Water into the search engine and be able to submit public comment. Whether you're for it or against it, you can submit public comment, but we ask you participate. In addition, if you're interested, you could reach out to Governor Hochul's office and ask her to immediately sign these utility bills. It's so essential as New Yorkers that we are vocal in the process of government, and so please do that. If there's any other resident or individual that also wants to speak, no, is it? We can have you speak. We're looking for testimony. So as a resident, you can speak. Just introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Charlene Ali. I am a resident here of Valley Stream, and it is awesome that we are out here.
Speak louder.
Oh, it is awesome that we are out here together to talk about these issues and to actually take action. Thank you so much, Assemblymember Salages, for putting these bills forward, but it is essential that we use our voices. This is grassroots at its best. Use our voices, contact Governor Hochul's office, and write that we need these bills passed. We need these signed into action. It's summertime. It is sweltering out here. Residents of Valley Stream knows how hot it can be. Water is essential, and it is absolutely deplorable that our community members have to choose between their medication, groceries, utilities, and paying their rent or mortgage. This is 2023. We live in Nassau County, and that is not acceptable. The community is coming together and asking for help from our governor, and we use our voices to do that. So I encourage all of us to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I remember when the water bill was the best bill to open, right?
Right.
It was so low. Well, thank you, everyone. And that's the conclusion of our press conference. Thank you. Bye.